If you can't stand the heat, stay the about the kitchen. Teofimo Lopez deletes his Twitter account after loss to George Kambosos. And we're going to talk about that in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. I don't know how you found my video, but somehow, some way, you made it. You arrived at the content. Please help others find the content by throwing a like on the video. It's quick, painless, it's free. It costs you nothing. So throw a like on the video. Now, you guys seen that video screen capture at the beginning of my video. Teofimo Lopez has done the unthinkable and deleted or deactivated his Twitter account. This is a shot that you see on screen of Teofimo clearly looking concerned mid-fight with George Kambosos, rightfully so. It was a grueling and tough fight. Fight of the year contender. You could definitely put it in that conversation. And at the end of it, Teofimo lost, right? Teofimo lost, in my opinion, majority of the rounds. He showed signs of life really in 2 rounds. Rounds 9 and rounds 10. He actually got a knockdown in round 10 over Kambosos, and it was looking like it could be the end for Kambosos after all the good work he had done previously. This has to be a monumental fail for Teofimo and his father based on how they conducted themselves pre this fight, before the fight. And like I said at the beginning of this video, if you can't stand the heat, you gotta get the about the kitchen. And for Teofimo to delete, as you guys can see there, Teofimo Lopez, this account doesn't exist. Try it. So he either deleted it, see profile, he deleted it or deactivated. I don't know exactly how that works on Twitter, but he did something to his account. That shows me one of few things. For starters, he's probably facing the wrath. And when you hear all of that, as I call it, the wrath, nonstop, that could break you. The internet is undefeated. Online, I have made my shekels for a decade plus. I know if anybody knows how the internet works, consider me to be one of those people. The internet at times like these will be brutal. However, there is still hope. You can make money online. You can host your business online. You could be successful online. Take it from me, somebody who makes money on the internet. The biggest thing is you gotta be realistic. I always tell you in my videos, the most dangerous thing 2021, 2022, and beyond is a camera and a microphone, right? This is why new media was created, to give the underdog a voice, to give the minority a voice, to give people a voice who weren't clearly being represented in boxing, particularly since this is the sport that I'm in, right? And give the underdog a chance, a fighting chance, right? So I know how the internet game works, and I know the ins and outs. And what Teofimo and his father did, they set themselves up for failure. You know, kind of like that fast life type of mentality, a lot of talk. And then post-fight, when you lose, you didn't lose graciously. You didn't lose graciously at all. Like, in fact, you lost like a sore loser. And to me, this is a weak move, because for these reasons, you can't dish it out and not be able to take it. And to me, this shows weakness from Teofimo Lopez, that he would delete his account because the pressure becomes too much. You know, there's a lot of people that have lost high profile and kind of dipped out. I'm not saying you have to be all in front of the camera, because Lord knows I hate losing. So I wouldn't want to be seen, you know, immediately at the loss, because we're humans. We got to take some time away to reflect and to process it. So I can understand staying off of the internet or staying off the grid. I remember Ronda Rousey, when she lost to Holly Holm, she just kind of dipped and disappeared and no one really like heard from her. So that's okay, because again, you have to self-reflect, process, watch the tape, see what you did right and wrong, etc. But for Teofimo to talk the talk he was talking and then not be able to walk the walk in the fight, and then after not take it graciously, then after that, when people are coming for your head and you face the wrath, delete your account. That's like finding a way out. And to me, I feel that's a bit lame, because this is really the bed that you made. You know, the old saying, the adage goes, you made your bed, now you got to lie in it. And that's kind of what I feel with Teofimo. A lot of this was preventable, and this is a huge L, but an L doesn't have to just be a loss. It could be a lesson, you know? And, you know, to try to find a way out and just delete your account, to each his own. I'm just telling you how I feel about the situation. For example, Teofimo Lopez, this was what I asked, and I made a dedicated video to this topic. This is why you guys got to follow my channel for the latest and greatest. We do all things boxing, the best sport in the world, the sweet science. I tweeted, you can follow me on Twitter too, at Boxingego. Does Teofimo Lopez still think that Deontay Wilder is, quote, being a right? B-I-T-C-H. After saying Deontay Wilder was making excuses. Now Teofimo loses, he won't accept defeat. And he said they are forcing him to make weight at 135. This sounds like a personal problem. It was all good just a week ago, and you'll see what I pulled from. Teofimo Lopez tells Deontay Wilder to, quote, stop being a bitch after making a number of wild excuses for his Tyson Fury defeat, right? Teofimo Lopez tells Deontay Wilder, you're a grown man. Stop being a bissel, right? These are the sentiments from Teofimo. After Wilder lost, he was trying to process the loss. He felt certain things were leveraged against him. That's a whole separate story. I want to focus here. But Wilder had various reasons he believed he lost the second fight to Tyson Fury. Out of nowhere, Teofimo Lopez, who has nothing to do with the heavyweight division, has nothing to do with the PBC fighter Al Haymon advised Deontay Wilder, felt the need to interject and jump in the mix and tell the whole world that Wilder was being a beezy. And then now, fast forward to the future, he takes his first professional L much before Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder from Tuscaloosa, Alabama. Oh my God. Right? So keep in mind, before Deontay Wilder took his first L in the second Tyson Fury fight, he was like 40 fights deep, and he's an Olympic bronze medalist. Teofimo, he was on his 17th fight, I think. So he was like 16-0. And before he could even get to 20 fights, he's already taken a loss where he was battered, which is evident by the aftermath. Like Eminem and Dre, aftermath. Hell yeah. Right? Look at his face, right? And after chastising a heavyweight, which we know Wilder is one of the most crucial punchers boxing has ever seen, Julian Jackson level power, right? Knowing you would never say this to his face, Teofimo says that Wilder was being a beezy. But look at how Teo's taking his loss. He says, I don't care what anybody says, I won the fight. Now, what makes this even more insane is if you listen to what Teofimo says, he said, the ref raised my hand, I won this fight. And the reason the ref raised his hand is because this is not like a Grammy Award show where the host or the people announcing the award might know the name in the envelope of who won before opening the envelope, right? So the ref doesn't know what the outcome is. And the way they announced it, it was kind of confusing because people weren't really in the mindset, because I even got confused. I'm not even gonna hold you. They said, and still. So when they said, and still undefeated, it sounded like they were going to announce Teofimo some kind of way because they said, and still undefeated. So I even got confused because not really putting in perspective that George Kambosos was undefeated as well. Because my mind is slipped because Kambosos was coming off back-to-back draws. So I wasn't really thinking of him as an undefeated fighter, but he is. You see what I'm saying? Because he was coming off the back-to-back draws. So when they said, and still, that really doesn't make sense because Teofimo was the unified champion. So for them to say, and still, I could see how the ref would be confused because I was confused. Because if you're saying, and still, then that sounds like the person kept his belts. I don't know. If you guys have another way to rationalize it, consider that leaving me a comment so I could understand it. But I remember when they were announcing it, I was like, did they get to fight to Teo? I was confused because keep in mind, I'm hosting the ever so famous Boxingego watch party BWP. So I'm hosting, reading comments. So it's hard to process everything. And it was a great fight. So the adrenaline and all that. But the point I'm making, connected back to Deontay Wilder, is look at what he said to Wilder. He said, you're being a beezy, won't. And now fast forward to the future, he's deleting his account. He can't take the smoke. He can't take the heat. And a lot of this was preventable. If you and your dad didn't act like this and, say wompty, people wouldn't probably be coming for your head because it was a great fight and they would respect you as a warrior, right? If you look at Wilder's loss in the third fight to Tyson Fury, people that didn't really even like Wilder because they thought, like Teofimo, that Wilder was making excuses, they had no choice but to respect Wilder's performance. This could have been the same case for Teofimo where you're like, all right, this was a good fight. This was a fun fight, wompty. And you lost, let's see how you bounce back. The takeover, you see how you try to take over again. But it's really your code of conduct, the ethics, the not giving George Kambosos his moment and his cutting off his interview and saying, I won. I mean, you listen to what Teofimo said. Initially, he said, I won 11 rounds to 2, which makes no effing sense because that means you were in a 13-round fight. So clearly he wasn't in the right thinking to say he won 11 rounds to 2. But then he switched it to 10 rounds to 2, which still doesn't make sense if you actually watch the fight. And Kambosos has done several interviews since this point, and he said, that's on him. I'm not tripping. The world knows what they've seen. That's why they booed him, which is fact. So Teofimo, I just think this is a bad look. You're supposed to be congruent as a man. I'm really into that. I believe in the alpha mindset, and you have to be, I feel a man especially has to be congruent with what that in which he puts out. So 10 toes down, you believe in it. You believe you won 10 rounds to 2. Why are you deleting your account? Deal with that. Deal with what comes with that. Like people are saying you're delusional, and you're just going to deactivate or deactivate your account. That looks like a chintzy way out, to be honest. He's always putting these prophetic adages and proverbs and Bruce Lee. I said, open your mind, be formed, be shaped. You be like water. If you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Right? He's doing all these quotes, be like water. So why you delete your account? Why don't you be like water, like Bruce Lee said? Teofimo, even though you lost, you could take a loss, but still be like water. Why doesn't he try to be like water now? What happened to all them, the secret in them quotes? It's a bad look. And again, I firmly believe a man gotta be congruent in what he said. You said you were gonna KO Kambosos in 1 round, and now it didn't play out like that. Your face is battered, and then you, instead of taking the high road and giving them props, you take the back door out. So let me know what you guys think. That's all I really have to say on the matter right now. Drop your thoughts in the comment section, and I'm out.